Daily Words of God. God's saving of man is not done directly using the method of the Spirit and the identity of the Spirit. For His Spirit can neither be touched nor seen by man. Neither can man draw near. If He tried to save man directly, using the perspective of the Spirit, man would be unable to receive His salvation. If God did not put on the outward form of a created man, there would be no way for man to receive this salvation. For man has no way of approaching Him. Much as no one was able to go near the cloud of Jehovah, only by becoming a created human being, that is, only by putting His Word into the body of flesh that He is about to become, can He personally work the Word into all who follow Him. Only then can man personally see and hear His Word, and moreover, enter into possession of His Word, and by this means come to be fully saved. If God did not become flesh, no one of flesh and blood would be able to receive such great salvation, nor would a single person be saved. If the Spirit of God worked directly in the midst of mankind, all humanity would be struck down, or else, with no way of coming into touch with God, they would be completely carried away captive by Satan. The first incarnation was to redeem man from sin, to redeem him by means of the fleshly body of Jesus. That is, He saved man from the cross. But the corrupt satanic disposition still remained within man. The second incarnation is no longer to serve as a sin offering, but rather to save fully those who were redeemed from sin. This is done so that those who have been forgiven may be delivered from their sins and made fully clean, and by attaining a changed disposition, break free of Satan's influence of darkness and return before the throne of God. Only in this way can man be fully sanctified. After the age of law had come to an end, and beginning with the age of grace, God began the work of salvation, which continues until the last days, when, in judging and chastising the human race for their rebelliousness, He will completely purify mankind. Only then will God conclude His work of salvation and enter into rest. Therefore, in the 3 stages of work, only twice has God become flesh to carry out His work among man himself. That is because only one in the 3 stages of work is to guide men in leading their lives, while the other 2 consist of the work of salvation. Only by becoming flesh can God live alongside man, experience the suffering of the world, and live in a normal body of flesh. Only in this way can He supply men with the practical way that they need as created beings. It is through the incarnation of God that man receives full salvation from God, and not directly from heaven in answer to his prayers. For man being of flesh and blood, he has no way of seeing the Spirit of God, much less of approaching His Spirit. All that man can come into contact with is God's incarnate flesh, and only by means of this is man able to grasp all the ways and all the truths and receive full salvation. The second incarnation will be sufficient to purge away the sins of man and to fully purify him. Hence, with the second incarnation, the entirety of God's work in the flesh will be brought to a close, and the significance of God's incarnation be made complete. Thenceforth, the work of God in the flesh will have entirely come to an end. After the second incarnation, he will not become flesh a third time for his work, for his entire management will have come to an end. The incarnation of the last days will have fully gained his chosen people, and humanity in the last days will all have been classed according to kind. He will no longer do the work of salvation, nor will he return to the flesh to carry out any work.